Hi Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your December 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Taurus. December 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading, oh goodness, and show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the moon, which is Pisces energy coming through. So if you have Pisces within our natal charts or within our lives, they're going to come through very powerfully at our root, kind of shake up our root a bit. And then we have judgment. We have the devil, Capricorn energy. Again, if we have this within our natal charts or our lives, they're going to be coming through very powerfully in our inner self, Taurus. And then we have the Five of Swords. It's the battle we're used to fighting. It's very interesting because the devil represents addictions. It represents, kind of harmful patterns that we have in our lives. And we're going to see ourselves kind of conquering them during this time from the 1st to the 15th of December. Then we have fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Again, if we have this within our natal charts or within our lives, we can feel them a bit as a reckless bulldozer. Okay, so that's going to be something we need to be aware of during this time. This person can just come in, kind of mess everything up and then leave and not really feel remorseful about it, which I'm really getting a feeling of like, oh, that's so typical, but it's just going to be a sense of what's coming forward. But there is also a sense here of our hearts really wanting to move towards our passion, towards what we desire. And we have the Ace of Wands, so we have God's source spirit, however we see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift that we're absolutely taking, and it's inspiring us. Our hearts during this time are going to be inspired. This is an inspiration time. We have the Chariot, which is Cancer energy. If we have this again within our natal chart or within our lives, they're coming through very powerfully in the public arena. And we have the Seven of Wands, really learning when to fight and when to not. Like, it's just not worth our time. So that's going to be something very interesting here, where we're learning how to hold on to our fierce energy, because it is fierce energy that moves us forward, but doesn't need to be, defined by anybody else. So let's see the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is the King of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. This is somebody who's emotionally very manipulative. And I'm seeing here like their bark is worse than their bite, but their bite is more like stink venom, or like a sting that slowly cripples and it takes a while to really take into effect. So just be aware of that, where this person doesn't play fair and they're not going to want to play fair. They don't care about the rules. They have their own rules, and as long as they're winning, that's all that matters. There's also a sense here of this person thinking that they can control everybody else, and it's not necessarily going to be that we feel drawn to this person. It's that we almost feel like ensnared by them, like I can't get away even if I wanted to. And it can just be like something from the past coming up, some sort of hurt, some sort of pain from somebody who has like tied our lives into knots at one point or another. Let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Our root chakra and family. Now, this is either the family we were born into, the family we created, the family that raised us, but we're really seeing ourselves connected to our root and to the nourishment of ourselves. This is also our past life and the way that we're guided forward and the way that we're embracing what we need, what we want, and who we are within our lives and within ourselves. So this is going to be a time where a lot more than just what's on the surface is coming into play. Though it will be rather easy for us to take things at face value, this is a time where nothing is quite as it seems. So let us dive into our astrology for this time from the 1st to the 15th of December. So on the 1st of December, we have Neptune going direct, which means that it comes out of retrograde. Now this draws a close to the time of spiritual and psychological transformation, which has brought us into a greater connection with hidden spiritual goals and the way that we're supposed to be moving forward. Now, Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So the fact that we have this at our root means that just coming out of the gate from this time frame, we are going to find ourselves very affected by everything that's going on and all the power that is coming forward. As Neptune goes direct, we start to see ourselves align more with, again, hidden goals, hidden truths, what we deeply desire. On the 4th of December, Mercury is opposite Lilith. Now, with Mercury opposite Lilith, we have here this sense of miscommunication and just frustration. This sense of no matter what I say, nobody's hearing me, nobody's seeing me, nobody's understanding what I need, what I want. And the thing is that everybody's going to be feeling this way. So everybody's going to feel a bit short and a bit invisible. So it's not going to make for the best time for open communication. We also have to be really quite assured of ourselves, because this is going to be a time where we feel as if I'm not sure of what I want, I'm not sure of where I'm going forward, and it's almost going to be like somebody else can take the lead, but we don't ever want to be led. So this will also lead us to really rebelling against that if that happens. So just be aware of this. We also have a solar eclipse and the new moon on the 4th of December, which will be in a separate video. The 6th of December has Mars sextile Pluto. Now, this is a tremendously driven and determined time. It can also be amplified because Mars is ruled by Aries, and we do have that fire sign energy here within our hearts. So this can be a time when we're very, very focused. We're very set on our goals and what we need to achieve. Now, we want to go our own way and we want to do our own thing. And it's almost like this sense of a sigh, like the sense of I have to do what's right for everybody else as well as what's right for me. And there's going to be a bit of frustration here when people get in our way, when people, kind of stop us from the way that we want to move forward. And again, we're going to have this bit of a struggle with everybody. Everybody wants to do their own thing. Everybody wants to go their own way and lead their own group. Unfortunately, not everybody's going to be able to do this. So just being mindful of this during this time is going to be a really big deal, and it's going to actually help diffuse arguments that can happen on the 6th of December. The best approach this day is to embrace with powerful confidence our alignment to our goals and our sense of perfection isn't going to be achievable today. So I'm aligning with my gifts and I'm letting myself shine forward, but I'm letting myself move forward rather organically, spiritually, and in a calm essence of myself. On the 7th of December, Mercury is squared Neptune. Again, Neptune comes through quite strongly because of the link with Pisces energy here at our root. Now, this is a time when the waking world almost seems off. Okay, it just seems off. It seems odd. This is a time of dreams and imagination. This is a time of heightened creative ability. And then having to interact in the waking world is just going to be something that is lacking for us. It's just going to be something that doesn't jive with our souls. Communication can also be jumbled on this day because excuse me, because we're all living so much in our own heads and in our own feelings. On the 8th of December, Mars is squared Jupiter. Now, with Mars squared Jupiter, this is going to be a time where we align rather positively with creative energy, enthusiasm, strength, and courage, as well as our sensuality. And aligning with our sensuality, as well as our courage and enthusiasm and strength, this is what we love here, Taurus. This is going to be a time that is positive, that is creative, that is intense for us. We need to make sure that we stay in alignment with ourselves and our energy, because if we don't, our creative energy can be leached by others, but also we can feel like we have this bubble up of energy and no outlet to put it in. So we can almost feel like a volcano being stopped and it just blows up. So we can find that if we don't have a creative or physical focus for this energy that's flowing within us, that we almost feel as if we're not able to truly live and express on this day. On the excuse me. On the 11th of December, Mercury is sextile Jupiter. Now, this is a time of questioning and curiosity. We want to kind of push the limits. We're also in a very non-judgmental space and a sense of acquiring knowledge just for the sake of knowledge. We're curious. We want adventure. Mercury rules short trips. Jupiter rules long trips. So we want to explore and we want to ask questions. As well, on the 11th of December, we have Venus conjunct Pluto. Now, this is going to be very strong for us because Taurus, we're ruled by Venus. So when Venus comes into play, it takes all our attention. So this brings love and karmic love into the forefront of our minds and ourselves. We have to be aware of our hearts and our heart chakra, as any turmoil or undealt with emotions and scars come to the surface and need to be seen. This can knock us off our game, but it also really helps cleanse us and the energy that we've been holding on to. On the 12th of December, the sun is squared Neptune, which again hits us hard because of the moon here with Pisces. We're being forced to see, and we're calling out our own weaknesses when we won't stand up for ourselves or what we need within our lives. I'm just going to take a sip of tea. Today is a day when we find our voice, even if excuse me, even if we're shaking on the inside. We have to embrace our voice, ourselves. We're astoundingly sensitive and caring today, but we have to make sure to focus that sensitivity and that caring on ourselves, or else it's just almost going to be like we care for everybody else, but we're just spread paper thin. On the 13th of December, we have Mercury entering into Capricorn. Now, this is going to be a big deal for us because of the devil right here. The devil represents Capricorn energy, so we're going to feel this more, especially inwardly, than at other times. This is making us astoundingly methodical in our thinking and the way that we're perceiving the world, in the way that we're going forward. We can almost forget about jokes and laughter and fun and living our lives for joy. This is going to be a time where I need to get the job done, I need to work, I need to see it all spread out and looking just a certain way. We're going to be astoundingly serious. Make sure to step back to see our heart, to see the heart of things, to see the emotion behind things, not just the logic, because that's going to be actually kind of hard. Also remember to speak kindly and with compassion, because we can find that with the alignment of the planets, our words come out rather harsh, and everybody's words can come out rather harsh as Mercury enters into Capricorn, because everybody's going to be so focused on logic. Now, Now we have also on the 13th of December, Mars entering into Sagittarius. This brings a maddening duality, which we don't like. We don't like things being like so polarly opposite. So this can be a little bit hard for us to take in as well. The fortunate thing is that the Mercury entering into Capricorn is going to hit us harder than Mars entering into Sagittarius, which actually lets us keep our footing a bit more. Because the duality here is that there's the fun-loving sign to this alignment, as well as the extreme, overly aggressive sign to this alignment. We're going to feel things very strongly, and we're going to feel this fire very strongly within us. We're going to find it hard to see other people's points of view. It's going to be, I'm right, and you should be able to be convinced to see it the way that I am. Because it's also going to be as if, if people don't see it, I'm just not making my argument correctly. I'll just have to re-explain it and re-explain it and re-explain it until you finally see my point of view. So that could be absolutely maddening during this time. We need to have a physical or spiritual outlet, or else these fire planets will just, Mars and when entering into Sagittarius, this fire energy will just absolutely eat us up and become overwhelming. It's going to be like a forest fire being spread around us. We also have to have follow through during this time, because we can have great starting energy, but to finish, we're just not going to be interested. We're already going to be on to the next thing. Now, on the 14th of December, we have Mars opposite the North Node. Now, this is a time when the intensity of Mars needs to be tempered by the conscious peace of the North Node. Now, Mars has us looking for action and doing, while the North Node brings to the surface our motivations and how to work out our karmic debt and how to grow spiritually. This can also be an amazingly powerful time for us to balance listening and doing, watching and understanding. It's almost as if we have all the energy here to be extraordinary. If we just tap into it, we can really let ourselves shine. Now, the moon at our root, it plays a big part during this time because we have so many planets, squaring with Neptune, and Neptune coming out of retrograde during this time, that we can feel pulled by the mysterious, by the unknown. We need to listen to our dreams. We need to listen to what we dream of within our hearts. We need to listen to our souls and our passion and ourselves. There's also going to be this sense of my fears come forward, and it can almost feel as if I'm being ruled by my fears, or my fears are taking on a life of their own. And what Spirit is saying here is that fears are coming out of the darkness, out of the shadows, to have us stand in the power and in the dignity of ourselves. We're looking at things in a quiet, gentle light, not in the booming chaos of our modern world, but in the quiet gentleness of like a night in the country, of crickets and gentle winds, and just this sense of life slowing down and being able to see the stars. More importantly, being able to see our dreams and what we desire for our lives. This is a time where we're entering into ourselves, not into the dreams of somebody else or the hopes and the wishes of somebody else, but into what we want within our lives, the passion to guide us forward, and what it is that we're deeply driven to achieve and succeed within ourselves. We're also going to find here that as we're facing these fears, we're coming out of a box that either we put ourselves in somewhere along the way of our life's journey, or others put us in. This can also be the box that we thought, okay, if you're successful, you're supposed to look like this. You're supposed to be like this. And we forgot who we are and what we want along the way. This is also a birth through fire. So there has been things in our lives that have just forged us and shaped us. And a birth through fire is never going to be something calm or gentle or nice or peaceful. It's going to be intense. And this is a time where it has been intense. We're seeing ourselves, again, rising out of that box, rising out of a certain way that we're supposed to be. And it has us looking at the chains of our past, but also the chains of our present. What is it that's keeping our hearts from expressing? What is it that's keeping us bound and held back and not able to truly embrace what we love and what we want within our lives? What is it that's keeping us silent? And these are the chains that society puts around us. These are, again, the chains that we could think, oh my gosh, if I do everything right, this is the way it's supposed to look. The only thing that we're sacrificing is our happiness. The only thing that we're sacrificing is ourselves. And so with the devil, we're looking at things very very openly and honestly for ourselves. We're looking at our addictions, the addictions that are kind of easy to spot or easy to see when it's alcohol or drugs or sex or food, but also the addictions that aren't easy to see. It's people pleasing and anxiety and, stress and not sleeping and not taking care of ourselves. And, it could be sugar or whatever it is that we're relying on to give us that energy, to give us that boost just to make it through the day. It's kind of like that old Yiddish saying, the days are long, but the years are short. And we're looking at what makes the days long, what is stealing away our joy. And it brings us to the Five of Swords. We've been through this battle before. We have. We've looked at it. We've seen it. This time we're coming out as successful. So we can always see the Five of Swords, like the person looking rather smug. And people say, okay, this is having to have good sportsmanship. But if we take this into the realm of medieval times, nobody had a good sportsmanship in medieval times at all. You won everything. If you won in a tournament or a duel, you could take the person's sword, you could take the person's horse, you could take the person's house, you could take their everything and leave them with nothing. And if you said, good job, well done, here's back your sword, people would run you through because you were weak and you didn't have to follow through to conquer. Times change. People's outlooks on things and people's idea of what constitutes as strength and what constitutes as weakness changes as we grow spiritually and as a society. So here we're looking at things and we're saying, I take this, not so that we emulate medieval times because who the heck would want to, but because we're showing to the people around us that I am strong, I am powerful, and I am moving forward in a bounty that is aligned with me and my goals and myself. It's no longer having to apologize for embracing my strength, and it's no longer feeling as if my strength is something that I need to apologize about. It moves us to this fire sign energy of the Knight of Wands. It moves us to being able to charge forward and go after what we want. We're fiery during this time, Taurus, and we might not like that. We like the calm, steady energy. That's the Taurian energy, the energy of the earth, the energy of our grounding, the energy of the compassion of ourselves, and the slow and steady, methodical way forward. This is going to be kind of like a comet going across the night sky. I need to shine and I need to blaze. This is going to be a sense of, this is my passion, this is what I want, this is what I need, and this is what I'm going after. As we're embracing this passion, we have the Ace of Wands. This is God's source spirit, however you see the divine in the universe, arming us. Okay, we already have our armor on. We know the world isn't this kind, warm, fuzzy place all the time. Sometimes you need to have your armor on. Sometimes you need to be not ruthless, but goal-oriented and not so self-sacrificing that you give up your goals for everybody else's. And so here, divinity is offering us and giving us this passion, this reason for getting out of bed in the morning, this fire that ignites us and this soul that moves us forward. Our hearts are going to be on fire during this time. We need to create, we need to connect, we need to understand, we need to see things bigger and better than we have before. And as we're opening up our eyes to this, as we're gaining an understanding to our passion and what we desire within our lives, we're starting to see that our heart really does move us forward. Our heart leads us to something so much bigger than what we thought it was going to be. We also start to see that our emotions lead us forward. We're not going to be apologetic. It's like, oh, this is what I need. I'm sorry for it. It's like, no, this is how my heart is leading me. And this is how I need to shine. And this is the passion of me. And this is the power of me. And this is the beauty of me that gets to be a part of my life. I'm not hiding this away anymore. So much of this time is about us stepping into the forefront of our existence and letting us shine, letting us be who it is that we were born to be without the apology, without the sense of wrongness. And it moves us to the Seven of Wands, which is very much telling us, know when to defend yourself. Yes, most definitely. But don't spend the whole time fighting, because the Seven of Wands can lead us to feeling like I just have to fight and I just have to keep on fighting. Because if I stop fighting, then I stop truly achieving and being, or I get walked all over again, and I'm not having that happen. And so the Seven of Wands here is telling us, especially in the public arena, don't waste your energy with fools. Don't fight, because what people are going to see is somebody who's always ready for a fight, or somebody whose energy is low because we're always spending it fighting. We're always spending it ready for the next shoe to drop or ready for the next crisis to come. This is standing our ground steadily and and serenely. It's like being one of those warriors who knows that when the line is crossed, I'll come for you. But until that line is crossed, I'm living my life and I'm embracing my goals. It's kind of like that saying, better to be a warrior on a farm than a farmer in a war. And that's what we're going to see here. It's better to know our skills and not have to use them than be thrown in the middle of every battle and not quite sure how to fight it all the time. It's moving us to our subconscious chakra, not chakra message, our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And it's the Queen of Swords. We have to be mindful of the twisting and the corruption of words, of people who give compliments that are also insults, and of people who, just twist things that are said. So just be aware of that. The heart and the words can be really corrupted during this time. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is inspiration, and this is the sacral chakra. This is the chakra that holds our creativity and our sexuality, as well as all the drama from this life and from past lives. And so here, what we're looking at is a new dawn coming. We're looking at all the pain that we carry, not being exterminated from our lives, but very much being seen and saying, why am I still carrying this? Why am I moving this forward within me? We're also looking at, the hurts and the pains and the scars that we have that we don't know how we accumulated it, like things that we are afraid of, that we don't know why we're afraid of it. But this is a time where we're really looking at things, where we're looking at ourselves. We're embracing a new dawn, a new way of seeing, a new passion that guides us forward. It brings us to our subconscious rooted self, and that's the Hangman. We don't see things the same way as we did before. And at first we're going to think, oh my gosh, I'm wrong. Like, I'm not seeing things the same way as everybody else. And then we're going to start to say, so what if I'm not seeing things the same way as everybody else? Or at least I have an original point of view to kind of bring forward in this world of like sheep and followers. I get to stand out. And this is a time where we can apologize for thinking different. Or we can say, this is my mind, these are my thoughts, this is my passion, this is what I'm moving forward in. And Spirit really wants us to get to that place where we start to really embrace and embody the uniqueness of our voice. It leads us to our subconscious inner self. And that's the Chariot coming through again. This moving forward with our hearts as fierce warriors. It's this sense of, I'm meant for movement, I'm meant for going, I'm meant for becoming, I'm meant for seeing. Stagnation is eliminated, and we start to see what we want from our lives and where it is that we want to be within our expression of ourselves and what we desire. The repeat of the number 7 has lies being called out, but also has us really connecting with the spiritual side of us, more so than before. Oh, and it's the repeat of the number 7 3 times, so that's definitely what divinity is saying. Also, when lies are being called out, we can tell little white lies, like little tiny lies that we think are no big deal, but people will call us out on them, so just be aware of that. It's going to be annoying. Excuse me, I have a bit of a cold. We have the 4 of Cups, and the 4 of Cups is having gifts brought in that don't feel like gifts. We're also not going to really be aware of everything that's aligning itself forward for us to be able to move towards the goals and towards the dreams that we have. The gift that comes in can feel like an extra burden. It can feel like something, one more thing that we have to take care of, but it's actually going to wind up being a blessing in the long run. We're going to see ourselves really moving forward and opening our eyes to see the blessings that are around us, especially as we step into our hearts more and more. Our subconscious public arena self is the 5 of Swords. And again, the 5 of Swords coming through. So this is a conflict because of the repeat of the number 5 that's easily resolved, but it's going to feel like it's going to take forever, but it doesn't. So here with the 5 of Swords, again, we're having to face something. It's rather karmic. It's come up time and time again in this life and in past lives, and now we're starting to face it head on. And because we're kind of putting ourselves first, not kind of, yeah, but it can be kind of at times where we're shakily putting ourselves first, like our voice could be quivering, our knees could be shaking, we could be thinking, oh, this isn't fair of me, I should be kinder to this person or that person who's obviously taking advantage of me, but I should be the better person, like head on the higher road. This is going to be a time where we start standing up for ourselves, even though we might be quaking on the inside. And as we stand up for ourselves, we see ourselves winning more and more. We see ourselves really starting to move towards the place that we want to be, not towards the place that it almost feels like we just end up because everything is so crazy. All right, Taurus. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the prosperity of this time. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Taurus.